You did this to yourself. You were the one all along. I believed this is how it's going to be for the rest of my life. If you're anything like me, you must have definitely ruined things for yourself. Maybe you gave away golden opportunities just because you thought you couldn't do it, or you thought you didn't deserve it, and you didn't believe in yourself enough when you had to, and you gave away all those opportunities. And the result? We live a mediocre life with the job that we don't like, with the people that don't appreciate us, and we end up settling for way less than everything that we actually deserve because we did not believe that we deserved the best. And the only thing that is standing between us and the life that we actually deserve is not our enemies, is not our competitors. It's not the people who want you to fail, but you yourself, I myself. Yes, you are the biggest obstacle to your own growth. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't realize this until recently. I had this enlightenment only after reading this book called The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest. It is like she was talking to me, looking me in my eye from across the table. Everything she said in the book was resonating with me. Well, most of the things were resonating with me. It felt like she was talking to me from across the table and telling me, you did this to yourself. You were the one all along, not that person who betrayed you, not that person who did not support you, not that person who did you wrong, but it was you all along. And as much as I wanted to shout out at the top of my voice that it wasn't me, it was so and so person, so and so situation, it was this job that did this to me, I couldn't because deep down I know that she is right. I was my biggest obstacle. We ruin things for ourselves because our brains want to protect us. Not intentionally, but I was the one standing in between my progress, my success, and the life I was living back then. And I did this in different ways. I postponed important things which could change the way I was living. I tolerated things which I didn't have to, which I didn't need to. I believed this is how it's going to be for the rest of my life. This was self sabotage, which is not intentionally ruining things for ourselves, but a way our brains try to protect us from potential danger. So, if you tried something and you had a bad experience with it, you label it as a bad thing for you altogether and you will never do it again. Maybe taking the flight made you feel sick for the first time, so you avoid it altogether. You say that it's not for me and you try other ways to travel and label a travel as something which is not for you. This is you trying to not have that bad experience that you had once. But do you know for sure that it will happen again? How will you know if you don't try it? And you won't know if you won't try it again. But somehow our brain uses this similar kind of logic to protect us from doing things which are different from what we usually do. Even if it's something that is good for us, even if it's something that is going to benefit us, that is how we end up ruining things for ourselves. Do whatever it takes to heal. The bad experiences that we had in anything, in a relationship, at a workplace, or anything at all, makes us fearful of trying it again, makes us resistant to that situation, which means there is something that we didn't heal from, which is making us fearful in that area. The trauma that you have experienced in a relationship, any emotions that you kept stored inside of you for ages, everything needs to be processed in order for you to start living life normally again. Cry if you have to, shout out loud if you have to, process your anger in healthy ways until you let out all those emotions that you have been storing for a long time. Revisit your traumatic memories, your traumatic past. That is the only way you heal. And when you heal, you come out as a much stronger, much more sensible, more able person that you were before that hurt and before that trauma. You didn't go through all that just to become more weak and vulnerable. You went through all those things, everything that you went through, only to become a much stronger and a much powerful version of yourself. There is no going back to the person you were before that hurt or before that trauma. but you're going to be a much wiser and a much sensible version of who you are, who can face challenges better. You are not your past. Did you know that all the cells in our body change completely every 7 years, according to research? So you're technically not the same person you were 7 years ago. So why are you still carrying your old identity upon your sleeve? Even if it's not something you are anymore, why are you trying to carry that identity? What we don't realize is we are not defined by our past. We are not the same person we were 10 years ago. We have changed a lot. We have outgrown those circles that we were in at that time. We have come too far from those people, those situations, those circumstances, those habits. All those things no longer define us. And we have outgrown ourselves too. So stop being defined by our past and look at it as a rearview mirror to guide you and proceed with caution and not something that holds you back from the person that you are supposed to become. Your imperfections are a sign that you're still growing. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to have everything perfect. You're not here to be perfect. Every imperfection that you have, that you find within you, is a sign that there is scope for growth in that area. When you find something not right in you, it means you are aware of yourself, self awareness, which is a good thing. And now we know whether we want to change that or leave it as it is. And all these imperfections are an opportunity for growth, for improving ourselves. And those are the mountains that you have to choose to overcome to become a stronger, a better, and a more powerful version of you. And embrace micro shifts, not sudden changes. When you decide that something is got to change in your life, make it a point to sit down and make a clear list of what needs to change in your life. If it's something related to your career, be very specific about what needs to change. Something related to your health, put a finger on it. Be very clear on the aspects that need to change. And when it's clear what needs to change, make one small change on a particular day and do it the second day and do it the third day until it becomes a pattern. And this is how you include the new thing in your life. You can't wait until New Year's Eve to become a new person. Start today and start now with that one small step, with that one small change. And within no time, you are heading in the direction that you want to go. And you will become that person that you always wanted to be. And those obstacles that we face are not there to stop us, they are there to teach us something valuable, something transformational. They transform us into someone who's stronger, wiser, more able, and ready to face those challenges and whatever comes our way. In the end, it's not about the obstacles or the challenges, but it is about the person that we become when we go through these obstacles and challenges. And whatever challenge you're facing today, this is your reminder that they are not here to break you. You can do this, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Until then, you take care.